Hello guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know when you're going to watch this. I hope you're doing great. So another lesson of trigonometry. So last time, remember, we talked about angles and angles in general and angles in triangle. Okay, remember the names, the full angle, the straight angle, the right angle. And in a triangle, we learned that the sum of the three angles is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so I hope you all remember that and that it's clear in your head now because we're going to do something completely different. And today we're going to speak about a guy that a lot of students hate, even though they don't know him. He's Greek. He's very old. He's dead now. He lived a long time ago, and he used to really love mathematics, and he used to really love triangles. Okay, and this guy is Pythagoras. Okay, that's his name, Pythagoras. So look at him. Looks really cool. Holding a pyramid. Just chilling. He's got a big beard like Jesus. It's kind of like the Jesus of mathematics. Okay, he is one of the oldest mathematicians. He was doing math 500 years before Christ. So that means 2,500 years ago. Okay, he was a Greek mathematician. And Pythagoras, he really loved triangles. And he finds something very interesting about triangles. Okay, in the last lesson we saw that if you know if you know two angles in a triangle, then you can find the missing angle, right? And Pythagoras, he knew that already, and he thought that would be cool if we could do the same thing with the sides, right? If we know two sides of the triangle, then that would be great if we couldn't find the value of the third side, right? So maybe there's something to do, okay? And he spent a lot of time looking for it and searching for it, okay? And he finally finds something. And this is what we are going to see in this lesson. So we're going to try to do like Pythagoras, okay? We're going to look at triangles and try to find something, try to find the same thing that Pythagoras found. Okay, you ready guys? So let's go. Alright, so again, last time we saw that if we know two angles in a triangle, because we know that the sum of the three angles is 180 degrees, then if we know two angles, we can find the value of the third angle. Okay, if an angle is 30 degrees, the other one is 60 degrees, then the angle number 3 is 180 minus 30 minus 60, that is 90 degrees. Okay, this is how to find the last angle of a triangle. And so that would be nice if we could do the same thing with the sides of the triangle. If we know two sides and we can find the third side, that would be really cool, right? So can we do that? Well, the answer is yes and no. We can, but only in some kind of triangle, all right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at all the triangles that we know, okay? All right, guys, so what special triangles do we know? If you remember, last year I tried to teach you the names of the special triangles, right? It's okay if you don't remember them, but I told you the names, right? The first one, the most easy one, is the equilateral triangle. Okay, the equilateral triangle has three equal sides and three equal angles. So this is this triangle right here. So this means that each side is equal. Okay, if this side, the length of this side is 1 centimeter, then this one is also 1. This one is also 1 centimeter. Okay, in the equilateral triangle, every side is equal and every angle is equal. So we can easily find how much is one angle, right? We know that three angles are equal, and we know that the sum of the three angles should be 180 degrees, right? This is what we see from the last lesson. So how much is one angle? One angle is 180 divided by 3, right? Because there are three angles, they are all equal. And if we divide 180 by 3, this is 60 degrees, okay? In an equilateral triangle, every angle is 60 degrees, okay? And because the three sides are equal together, it doesn't make sense to try to find the value of the last angle of the last side, right? Because we already know all the sides of the equilateral triangle. If we know one side, we know all the sides, okay? But this one, we don't care about it, okay? The second special triangle is the isosceles triangle. Okay, the isosceles triangle, it looks like the equilateral triangle, but it has only two equal sides. Okay, here this side and this side are equal together, and in the isosceles triangle, because these sides are equal together, then this angle and this angle, they are also equal together. Okay, so in the isosceles triangle, if we know one angle, then we can find the other angle. Example, let's say if this angle is 80 degrees, okay, if this angle is 80 degrees, then because the sum of the three angles is 180 degrees, these two angles together should make 180 minus 80. I'm going to write it down for you. Up. Okay, so these two angles together should make 180 degrees minus, minus 80 degrees. That is 100 degrees, right? So these two angles together, they make 180 degrees, but they are equal together. So how much is one angle? One angle is, okay, write it down. Okay, one angle is 100 degrees divided by 2. 101 angle is 50 degrees. Okay, so in the isosceles triangle, if we know one angle, we can find the value of all the angles. Okay, but what about the sides? Here we want to work with the sides, right? If we know this side, then we know the value of the other side, but there's no way to, well, for this year, there is no way to find the value of the last side. Okay, this is not the triangle that we are looking for. The last special triangle that we learned about is the right triangle. The right triangle, it has a right angle. Okay, remember the right angle? This is this angle here. A right angle is 90 degrees. Okay, so here we have a 90 degrees angle. So in the triangle, this is a right angle. Okay, and the right angle is the triangle that we are interested in. Okay, and we're going to see that today, that in the right angle, if we know two sides, we can find the value of the last side. Okay, by the way, the right triangle can also be an isosceles triangle. Okay, right triangle just means it has a right angle. Isosceles triangles means it has two equal sides. So in a triangle, you can have a right angle and two equal sides at the same time. This is an isosceles right triangle. Okay, just to let you know, guys. All right, they can be together. Okay. So in this lesson, we will be interested in the right triangle. Okay, so together we're going to try to make an experiment, try to find the relationship between the sides in a right triangle. Okay, all right. Okay, so the only, and I insist on that, the only special triangle in which you can find the sides in which we can do what we would call Pythagoras, the only triangle in which you can do that is the right triangle. Okay, the right triangle, it has a right angle. Okay, that's why we say a right triangle has a right angle. Okay, and in mathematics, we really like right triangles. There are a lot of things that we can do with the right triangle. Okay, even in Mathem 3, you will learn a lot more things. So I'm doing this video for the Mathem 2 and Mathem 3 students. So for the Mathem 3 students, in the next lesson, we will learn even more things, because you should already know Pythagoras. Okay, I'm showing you this video because I hope everybody knows Pythagoras already, but it's always good to try to remember, right? Especially after the vacations. Okay, anyway, so the right triangle has a right angle, okay? And there are three sides in a right triangle, okay? Every triangle has three sides. Well, we can give names to these three sides, and this is going to be very, very important, okay? The first side, I say the most easy side to give a name to is the longest side of the right triangle. Okay, every right triangle has a longest side. Okay, and this longest side is always the side opposite of the right angle. I don't know if you guys know what it means opposite. Something opposite is something not on the other side. Okay, if you are here, the opposite thing is there. Okay, opposite means on the other side. Okay. And in triangles, we're going to speak about opposite sides of angles. Okay, so here I'm talking about the opposite side of the right angle. The right angle is here, right? The right angle is here. So the opposite side of the right angle is on the other side is here. This is BC or CB. Okay. The opposite side of the right angle, which is also the longest side, right? If you look at it, this is the longest side, right? This one is shorter, this one is shorter, okay? The longest side is called the hypotenuse, okay? Hypotenuse, it means the longest side, okay? So every time you see a right triangle, the first thing you should do is find the hypotenuse, find the longest side, find the side opposite of the right angle. Anywhere you can do how you like. Okay, you find the hypotenuse. So here, this is the hypotenuse. All right, and then we have two more sides that we have to give a name to. Okay, the names of these two sides are going to be the adjacent side and the opposite side. Okay, so you need to know what it means, adjacent and opposite. So I just told you opposite, it means on the other side. So when you look at something, the opposite thing is on the other side. Well, adjacent, it means on the same side. Okay, if you want to help to remember, you think about adjective. Maybe you know adjective. In English, an adjective is a word like red, like a color. It's a word to describe something. If I say like a big dog, big is the adjective, right? And the adjective is on the same side, is next to the noun. Okay, the big dog, big is close to the noun. Adjacent is, it means the same thing. It means to be close to something, to be on the same side as something. Okay, so we have adjacent and opposite. Adjacent on the same side, opposite on the other side. But on the same side and opposite side of what? Well, when we say adjacent or opposite, we're talking about an angle. Okay. Earlier I told you the hypotenuse is the opposite side of the right angle. Okay. So when I say opposite or adjacent, I'm talking about an angle. So if there is a right angle here, then there are two other angles in the triangle, right? So we need to look at one angle. We need to choose one angle. In this triangle here, I choose this one here, the angle B, and I give it the name theta. Okay, this one is a Greek letter that we usually use for angles, the Greek letters, like this is theta. Okay, theta is the angle B or the angle ABC, depends on how you name the angles. Okay, so now I'm looking at this angle theta. So theta is in the triangle, and theta has an opposite side, and theta has adjacent side. The easiest side to find is the opposite side, because opposite means on the other side. Okay, so if we look at theta, theta is here, right? What is on the opposite side of theta? We need to look the other side. Theta is here, the opposite side is here. This is AC or CA. Okay, so we say that the opposite side of theta is AC. So the name of this side is going to be the opposite side. Okay. The other name we have is the adjacent side. So now we can say, now it's easy to find the adjacent side, because we say this one is the hypotenuse, this is the opposite side, the last side is the adjacent side. But if you don't know which one is the opposite side, adjacent means on the same side. It means next to. Okay, so if we look at this angle here, this angle theta, it has two adjacent sides. It has two sides that are on the same side, right? There is BC and there is AB. Okay, so these two sides could be called the adjacent side. But that's why I tell you, you should always find the hypotenuse first. Okay, hypotenuse, the longest side, the side opposite of the right angle, is here, is BC. Okay, this is the first thing we give a name to. So this one already have a name. It doesn't need to have two names. Okay, one name is enough. I have one name, you have one name, right? So the adjacent side is going to be the other side, the side that is not the hypotenuse. Here, if BC is already the hypotenuse, then the adjacent side can be only AB. Okay, that is the other way. If you want to find the adjacent side first, you look at which one is the hypotenuse, adjacent is the other side. Okay, so that is if we look at theta. Okay, if we look at theta, theta is here, opposite on the other side is AC. So this is the opposite side. On the same side, we have BC and AB, but BC is already the hypotenuse. So the adjacent side is AB. Okay? So that is if we look at theta here. But imagine now I'm looking at this angle here, the angle C, the angle ACB, and I would say this is theta now. So we forget about the other one. Okay, if I say this is theta, what happens? Now the opposite side of this angle is here, is AB, right? So now AB would not be the adjacent side, but would be the opposite side of this angle. Okay, and if we want to find the adjacent side, again, this would be the opposite side. Hypotenuse is still there, is still the longest side. So AC would be the adjacent side now, okay? And this is something very, very important, guys. When you want to find the adjacent side of the opposite side, you need to look at an angle. You need to choose the angle, okay? And I really insist on that because it's very important, not for Matheum 2 so much, but for Matheum 3, we're going to need to use this a lot, okay? We go every time in a triangle, we need to find the hypotenuse, choose an angle, and then find the adjacent side or the opposite side. Okay, guys? I hope it's clear for everybody. So I repeat one more time, okay? When we have a right triangle, we find the right angle first, we find the longest side, and we say, okay, this side is the hypotenuse. Opposite of the right angle, the longest side, however you like, is the same, okay? This is the hypotenuse, always. Then we choose an angle. If we choose this angle here, theta, then opposite on the other side of theta is the opposite side. AC is the opposite side. And the last side is the adjacent side. Okay, I hope it's clear for everybody. All right, guys. I'm going to stop the video here for today. I've still prepared a lot of things. I know you guys are very excited. I know you want to learn about triangles, about Pythagoras, but you will have to wait a little bit. Okay. So for today, I want you to understand how to find the sides in a right triangle, okay? How to find the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the side opposite of the right angle. This is the longest side. How to find the opposite and the adjacent side. So we need to look at one angle, okay? And if I move my head right over here, now I'm not hiding anymore. So you can see the angle theta right here, okay? And you have to find the hypotenuse opposite of the right angle, the longest side, and the opposite side of theta, okay, on the opposite side of the angle theta, so right here is the opposite side, and the adjacent side, okay. So I will make a quiz for you guys where I will ask you to find the hypotenuse, the adjacent side, the opposite side, okay. And in the next lesson we will learn more about Pythagoras, okay. We will do experiments together to try to find the relationship between the sides of a right triangle, okay, and to prove this relationship and to understand it together. Okay, so good luck, guys. Stay home, stay safe, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye bye.